at you guys. Unbelievable. Claire and Brandon looking amazing. Claire, you look stunning. That's amazing. And Brandon, you age with wonder.
It's good to see you again, man.
Yeah, you as well, guys. I mean, by the way, outstanding new album, Us. It's out now. It's just incredible. We'll talk about it shortly, guys. But I am like you guys just look better every time I see you guys. What is your health routine, guys? Like, I want it.
Severe jet lag. We got back from London last night, so just that. Way too much coffee.
Red wine and Guinness.
Airport bacon. What else?
Yeah, it's hard to say.
We're running on adrenaline and coffee.
Yeah.
Thank you, though. Very nice.
But all kidding aside, Claire, I mean, like you said, airports, buses, shuttles, airport lounges, sleeping when you can. Like, what are the, you guys have been doing this for a while. Like, is there like a cheat sheet of health?
I think because I used to do musical theater and, it's 8 shows a week, 2 on a Wednesday or a Sunday, depending where you are. I would sleep under my makeup desk, like between shows. So it really is sleeping whenever you can.
Sure.
But making sure you're doing what you love, like that. Like, to be lucky enough.
Yeah.
What you do as much as we do. That's a big help. But you probably have.
Well, and I think for us too, when you're on the road, there's a certain level of self-preservation that kicks in. And, I think for Claire and I, we try not to overdo it, if that makes sense. You're in a new city all the time. So there's this constant temptation of like, we've got to get out. We've got to see the sights. We've got to experience. And, sometimes that's just not feasible. So, there's a lot of beautiful cities that we've been to, but, the joy of it is we're there to play music. We're there to, connect with the audience of that city. And so we sort of really focus on that. And we sort of joke that we never stray far from the mothership. So if that's the tour bus or, the venue or, the hotel or whatever, we're, when we have the opportunity to go back and really have a holiday, experience those individual cities sort of for all of their goodness, we will for sure. But it can be tricky, especially when you're on tour. You have this thought of like, oh, we have a day off, so we've got to go do everything. Well, the reality, you should be resting because you just played 4 or 5 shows in a row,
right?
And you really need to rest. So that's always sort of worked, I think, for us, and we just sort of try to maintain that.
It always cracks me up when like our mutual friends have their day off, and I see them on social media or whatever, and they're just like in a movie theater falling asleep with like the popcorn in their head, like they don't know what to do. Or they go to the arcade, but they're like, they don't want to be there. Like, it's like, people just don't know what to do with their day off,
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally get it.
Absolutely.
It has to be for an off switch.
Yep.
I can't.
Off switch and a nice meal.
Exactly. And speaking of London, guys, you guys just came back, like Claire said. I mean, you guys performed at a packed Royal Albert Hall. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, for my audience that may not know, that's in the Mount Rushmore of theaters in the world, along with the Ryman, Carnegie, whatever you want to call it. Yep. My God, I mean, Brandon, Claire, I mean, how was it?
It was honestly, I just got chills thinking about it. It was insanely beautiful. It felt poetic. We were sort of speechless in a way, sort of walking through those halls, pulling into where the artists park beneath the theater, and then getting to walk through those halls, just knowing, the different artists that have played there. And, for us being able to take, our debut record together out on that stage and play those songs for those fans in London, and then getting to do that on the first night on the main stage, and then the second night at the writers' round, which was in a smaller room, which they call the Elgar Room in Royal Albert Hall, and we were able to play that with several other artists and tell stories behind the songs, and it was really special.
It's really lovely, and like the UK audiences are all of our audiences are so wonderful. We're lucky; we have the best fans in the world. But the writers' round sold out really fast, and it's because over there, like there's this fantastic appreciation for songwriters and the stories behind the music and all that kind of stuff. So they put us in this gorgeous room where Elton John's red piano lives.
Yeah.
So
That's not nothing.
I know, it was just like, it's so beautiful. And it was just a really special experience getting to play. Ben Earl from the Shires was hosting around, and we got to sit next to tenor Esri.
Yeah.
The most wonderful person. It was magic, whether you're in the big room or one of the other kind of like little sacred spaces around in the Royal Albert Hall. You really did make a great comparison with the Ryman. It's holy ground. So we just so blessed to be there and so jet lagged.
I like that because you guys just arrived. You haven't had a time to like decompress, and you're decompressing in real time. Like, oh my God, we did that, and I love that.
Yeah.
Oh God. But Brandon, what makes that venue special? And I'm just curious because I haven't stepped on that stage. I stepped, like on the Ryman, when you step on the stage, the stained glass windows, the pews. What makes that venue special? I'm just curious.
Well, it's when you're on stage, you're basically looking at this beautiful round room that's hugging you, multi-levels. And then the floor is full of people. There's interesting, if you're standing on stage and you sort of look up and to your left, there's one of the boxes that has a crown that sits out over it, which was the Queen's box.
Yeah.
Really, always it's such a neat thing to see, obviously me being from America, that venue has got such rich history and, incredible artists played there.
That's, if you walk through the halls, like around the sides of the theater, you can see all of the amazing artists that have played there, and also like the historic significance that room has. Like that's where they held the main memorial for the Titanic victims who drowned.
Wow.
It's a really, really special
Holy
place.
Grail. Wow.
Yeah. It's incredibly sacred and just such an honor to get to stand in that room. And like we always say from stage, and it's true, that we have to do what we love for a living. It is a dream come true. And every person who is sitting in that audience listening to our songs and stories, like we're still the kids that got picked last for something. Like every single person in there is a dream come true. So it's pretty wild.
Love it. Brandon, let me pivot to the new album, your debut album. First of all, I love that. I mean, so good. I mean, so good. Your first started out with Snakefarm Records, by the way. Great label. Many friends of ours are in that label, like Marcus King or Bowen Young Banjo. I mean, but you guys were looking for a label for a while, and labels were knocking on your door for a while. I'm just curious, like, why did you guys, like, how does that process go? Like, is that like a little bit like business matching, dating? Like, why did you guys go with Snakefarm?
We met our wonderful A&R person, Dante, who's just, he and Kaylee were in town.
Yep. And
it was meeting individuals from the label who we actually spent a couple of evenings with.
Yeah.
And the first one was kind of just that initial meeting and just wondering if our music was the kind of music that they like, because you really want the people who are going to be your champions to actually like your music. It kind of helps. But Kaylee and Dante they were absolutely just wonderful to hang out with and very complimentary, which was nice, but also really good people. And probably most importantly, very like artistically, I don't really know how to say it.
Minded.
Yeah. And like both of them having artists' minds. So the people on the ground making decisions and helping us make decisions about the record, having an artistic heart themselves, that makes a huge difference. So I think we took them to dinner, and then it was like after some event, I don't know, but we ended up giving them a lift back to their hotel. We were at City Winery, and it was really late at night, and the back lot it's downtown, but it's in the middle of not a whole lot.
A little sketchy, yeah.
I was like, I didn't want the two lovely British people, like, we're not leaving you here. Like, come on, get in the truck, we'll drive you to your hotel. And just had a lovely chat, dropping them off. And they were very kind people, and that's also the kind of person that we want to work with. So,
well, now from a creative standpoint, something that really resonated with us was they didn't try to tell us what kind of album to make.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't tell us what songs to record. They didn't tell us, stylistically what we should be. We made the album that we wanted to make, and they got on board. They were excited about what we had created in the studio. And so for us, that just, it really meant a lot, that they,
Of course.
from note one, they believed in the project, and sort of their philosophy as a label was something that we could really, get on board with.
That's great. Great to hear, Brandon. All right, let me talk about one of my favorite songs in the album. I could talk about all of them. They're still so great. I mean, we're not even gonna have time. I mean, Hair of the Dog, I love, but let me talk about Aurora. Like, God, the first time I heard Aurora, Claire, like, sweet mother of cargo pants, like, my chills got chills. Like, tell me about that song and the story of, like, I mean, you wrote it with Sean McConnell, I think, and
Yes.
but tell me a little bit about, the three kids, like, that inspired this song and that whole story. That is, like, incredible.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. That means a lot. Those three children, Odin, Leo, and Abiella, are three of the most incredible people that we've ever met. And we affectionately call them Auroras because they are the kind of people that they shine goodness right from the inside out, and they make you want to be the best version of yourself. And they've all had different challenges. Two of them are children who are living with autism in basically in a world that is very much built for neurotypical people. And Abiella has a set of different challenges. So we were really honored to get to release Aurora during Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month in April. But we wanted to honor them with a song, and we started writing with Sean, and Abiella is actually Sean's daughter. So I think it's a song that's close to his heart as well. And as we wrote, we realized that what our Auroras would want but I should say Aurora means new dawn or beautiful light, and that's why we affectionately call them Aurora. Sorry, jet lag. So as we wrote, we realized that what our Auroras would want is to include everybody. So we wanted to write something that makes people think of that person in their life who might be a little bit different, a little left of center. They might have been through some really difficult stuff, but somehow they just shine bright right from within, and they put more good in the world everywhere they can. And Aurora was born.
You know what amazes me about you guys, and thank you for your time. I know you guys are probably tired. You guys think it's dinner time. God knows what's happening in your bodies. But Brandon, I mean, I think that, one of the most beautiful things about Bowen Young, and it's a really unique thing. I haven't seen it in my, 18 years in music or whatever, is the way you guys capture the wide ranges of life, like Aurora, but you guys capture in a song everything from gratitude to, resilience, grit, growth, love, obviously, into like 4 minutes. Like it's incredible how you guys do this. Like, how do you do it, Brandon? Like, how are you able to kind of just like mix and match all the ranges of life in such like a beautiful, balanced way?
Well, thank you for saying that. I would say that, one thing that was sort of our North Star in writing and recording this record was writing and recording songs that we knew to be true from personal experience. And, if that is writing a script or a screenplay or a song, you're always best to start with write what you know. And for us, love is all of those things. Love can be a moment of elation or of grief and extreme difficulty.
Can be terrifying.
And can be terrifying. And for Claire and I, we just wanted to be as honest with the audience as we could and write songs that we had a feeling we were going to end up singing for the rest of our lives. So you want to write those songs that are true to you, and that, if you're writing things that are untrue or are sort of contrived or put on, the people who are listening to it can kind of smell it in the air, that it's, and that's not really what we wanted to do with this album. And so as we sort of started, we probably wrote 50 songs for this record. And as we started going through the songs with Sean, he really was brilliant at helping us identify those moments that in his mind felt important to the entire body of work, which was the album. And so the three of us were able to sort of put our heads together and work through that list of 50 down to what the album ended up becoming.
Amazing. Amazing, guys. Well, you guys have been so good with your time. Claire, let me leave you with this. Does it amaze you? This is like a Nashville TV show question. I am amazed at kind of like the enduring popularity of that show. It just keeps getting like bigger, all these years later. Because some shows, in Australia, I'm sure where you grew up, but Brandon knows that like 90210 or Murderous Place, like they eventually fade off into popular culture. But like the Nashville TV show, Claire, like does like you guys are still selling out arenas, rooms? I'm sure you get like recognized all the time. Like, does that kind of like, that's gotta be like an interesting thing, right?
It is. I feel very fortunate. I mean, when I read the role of Scarlett, it was the role of a lifetime. She was incredible. And I thought somebody else would get that role and it would be somebody who was really well known and established. And instead they got me, who came out of nowhere. I think the quality of the television show, it was a drama, but the music is what has endured. And that music was T-Bone Burnett, Buddy Miller, Colin Linden, like all of these incredible songwriters who were real songwriters from Nashville. That's Callie Curry, her script writing, like her storytelling.
Yeah.
They cast it very carefully. They were, I think the one of the wildest things was the last tour when we did the national reunion tour. We're in the UK. We're standing in a sold out arena in Cardiff, and we asked the audience, who is a new fan, who's been to one of these shows before, and a quarter of the people that put their hands up. And there were thousands of people in that room, and the rest of them had discovered the show during the pandemic or recently being told by people who just discovered it. That it's the music. We can hear what you hope for as a songwriter, I guess, is that somebody hears their story in the story that you're telling. And the fact that we get to sing these beautiful songs that were written by incredible songwriters and have always been encouraged by our sort of like our champion, Steve Buchanan, who was heading up the Opry, which was a massive part, the Grand Ole Opry, massive part of the TV show too. He always encouraged us to sing our own music on the live shows as well. And we also wrote to the Nashville soundtracks. So it's kind of this weird amalgamation of we never stopped, and the audience either needed the stories for whatever reason. They loved they loved the music. It really has music that has continued
For sure.
and because it's not just this time capsule. A lot of shows just they go into this box and they exist just that forever. But because Nashville and its music is this ever evolving thing,
right,
with the 4 main cast members and now us as Bowen Young, people always get something new. They always get something else. And honestly, like, I think it, like we hear from people that it's like a warm, cozy blanket there. Like we recognize you and we fell in love with the characters and we want to hear from you. So they keep showing up. So we'll keep playing.
Amazing. Brandon, Claire, you guys have said it all. I mean, what an album. That's going to be one of the year-end list best albums for sure. Congratulations, guys, your debut album. And we look forward to crossing paths in Nashville and beyond, guys. And
yes,
get some rest, please.
Thank you so much. Well, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for having us on.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Claire. Take care, guys. Bye.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here for the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from J-Rod Concert Media.